It is the Riot Podcast. Woo.
Sorry, there was no podcast yesterday, but
I was gone, but I'm back.
Yeah, we're back today.
So things you'll hear in today's podcast, we talk about how Ninja made the big bucks.
Well, Ninja with Mixer Gaming and what that has to do with Facebook.
You guys already know. I know how it is. Like so we talk about iOS 14. There's actually a couple of Apple stories in here. We talk about Chris and what he's doing this week. I think it's cool. Let's see. The last 2%. There's, as the show goes on, things get a lot more honest.
Do they? Does that mean the breaks are longer?
No, it's not that they're longer. It's just that see if you can see some of the emotions that come on display. For example, we talk about the Babysitters Club.
We do.
It's emotional.
It is emotional.
Okay.
And it becomes deeper than you think it should for what that is.
It communicated a lot to me. It really did.
It says a lot.
And then as we get even further into the show, Nikki begins accusing me of things.
I'm not accusing you. You did it in it. You totally showed exactly what you do all the time.
She said this thing about, I make her feel bad about having a big nose. Something that...
You've said that once before.
It's never even crossed my mind.
I know, because I don't have a big nose. It's a normal-sized nose, but you said it in the way to make me wonder. It was probably when we were talking about a nose ring or something.
Probably.
Yeah, so
that's probably true.
Around those times you have said things.
See how casually cruel I am?
Don't even remember it. You don't even respect me enough to remember when you're rude.
The years of pain I've caused, haven't even thought about him.
Well, we talked about Phil, who I think listens to the podcast.
Yes.
He was so sweet, and he sent me a pair of Crocs. So Nikki from the Riot, now own a lovely yellow pair of Crocs. That starts the ball rolling for shoe talking and then other stuff. So you'll hear it in here.
There's some more Apple stuff, and then we talk about the library.
That's it.
So you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Nikki and I will just be...
we'll be here. Thanks to, again, all the podcast listeners who supported last week during our fundraiser. If you want one more way to maybe help support RadioU, this one's a fun one. You can walk or run our RadioU virtual 5K with us. There's not a lot of spots left, though, and the opening for sending in your time starts next Monday. And then you have about 2 weeks that you can put in your walk or run time for your 5K. So if you want to support, get some exercise, hang out with us virtually, you can check out RadioU.com and then click on the virtual 5K stuff.
Yeah, so thank you, everybody who has given and is signed up for the 5K. We look forward to seeing your name with a dollar amount next to it.
Well, actually, it's not a dollar amount. It's
I guess
time.
for a 5K, it's not,
right? It's a time next to it.
Some numbers.
See, that's all Obi cares about. Sizes, numbers.
That's right. How do we know we're winning or losing?
I know.
If we don't attach a number.
Thank you so much for considering doing that, and thanks for listening to the podcast today.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Wait for this.
You okay?
You know what? I just keep having every once in a while a little dry cough.
Yeah.
Something in the back of my throat kind of catches.
Seems to be something that happens.
I keep waking up with swollen sinuses, which I could do without it.
Sure.
And it's just a matter of different days, different swelling levels. Sunday morning, I woke up and it was like, that's weird. I remember my eyes being inside my head.
What's this?
As the day goes on, it gets better.
Well, we'll see what happens then.
But, Nikki, this is a morning show.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to have something in the morning.
Yeah,
it
might as well.
During this show.
Of course it would be.
So,
well, happy Tuesday, everybody.
It's
Hopefully
the way that kind of works.
We're all ready for a fantastic day.
Are you?
Was that positive enough? Yeah, I think so. I think it should be a good day.
What have you done to prepare for a fantastic day?
Well, we are celebrating Chris, who works here at RadioU.
Uh-huh.
We're celebrating his birthday. So I looked ahead at what I want to order. And, you never pre-planned.
Okay. Now,
so that's my excitement for today.
If we were going somewhere new and exotic, that would make a lot of sense. Instead, we're going to the Panda Express that Nikki swore she'd never go back to.
Well, it's his birthday, and it's fine. I don't think that guy works there anymore. This guy yelled at me once there for having a counterfeit $20 bill, which I did not have, but he just yelled at me. So
It was a moment. So
yes, it was.
Have you prepared yourself for the horror of reliving that when you go back in there?
I haven't been inside a restaurant, including Panda Express, so I think we're going in.
Really?
Yeah.
Inside?
Yeah, we're going inside to celebrate his birthday. Or we'll get it all and we'll bring it back and we'll eat it inside here.
Okay.
But I think we're going in there, so it's a big day. It'll be a big day for Chris.
Wow.
We're all ready.
Yeah.
So look at the menu.
We're all ready to risk life and limb to celebrate Chris's birthday.
He's excited, and that's what he picked, so it's fine.
All right.
And so then it is a big day.
When's his actual birthday?
I think it is. That's a good question. Did
I tell you? I told Michael. Did you hear what he's doing for his actual birthday?
Yeah, he's going to. If anybody's ever heard of Dave Ramsey, who's like a.
He's a money guy.
Yeah, like a money guy, how to live debt free and all that stuff. He's going to go do one of those things.
Chris is going to Dave Ramsey to yell, "I'm debt free" or whatever. His debt free scream. Chris has eradicated his debt using Dave Ramsey's method.
Yeah, his actual birthday is during his trip away, so that's what we're celebrating today.
So congratulations to Chris, and we'll be celebrating his debt-free lunch for his birthday. Works for me.
See? Is it going to be an amazing Tuesday today?
You know what? You've taken steps, Nikki. You
I'm ready.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Yesterday, Apple opened up the Worldwide Developers Conference with big news.
They did it all online, right? So it was like their first virtual one of its kind.
Virtual's the new actual. It's very exciting. And so they announced, OS 13, iOS 13. Okay, what do you think comes after iOS 13?
Well, 14, but...
What?
Did we do that, or did we go and do something else? Did we stay in numerical
14!
order? Yay.
We're going from 13 to 14! Oh my gosh! Let's have a virtual party for the virtual announcement! Because this is the virtual exciting future!
It's brand new, right? So this the one, is it Big Sur, or what are they calling it?
Big Sur, but that's S-U-R. I don't know what that's short for.
Well,
or if Sur...
Big Sur, the surf thing.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, Big Sur.
Thanks, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Because I don't know. So here's the idea. A couple things. If you've got an Apple device, you've got a phone, you'll be able to, instead of right now, like your default email program is their mail app.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to choose something else. Your default browser is immediately Safari that's built in. You'll be able to choose something else.
Good.
Whoa.
These are big steps.
Whoa. It's a lot of things are changing.
These are big steps.
Big, Nikki. You know what? The one that...
Surprising steps. Oh, my goodness.
The other thing that I actually do care about is that with iOS 14 comes tvOS 14. Mm-hmm. And I have an Apple TV in my basement. I'm a huge fan of it. It's way overpriced, but I'll tell you this. It's a heck of a piece of technology.
It's good.
It really is the best, Jerry. The best.
But it's expensive.
Yeah, it's also the most expensive. But they are going to have YouTube in 4K, which is something that up until now they have not had because Google and Apple were like, well,
they were fighting back and forth.
They were fighting over a codec. So they're fixing that. So, and I think they're also going to have picture-in-picture.
I thought that looked pretty interesting.
It does, but honestly, have you ever used picture-in-picture for anything in your life?
If I was on my phone, that might actually be nice, because then if you're watching something, you, like, say someone texts you and you want to still continue watching, you just have it still on your screen, but you can go move over there. So I thought it might actually be good.
But doesn't your phone already do that?
Well, if you're watching Netflix or YouTube or something, it closes out.
Okay. So I guess I haven't really tried it that
so
way.
with this just moves the picture. You can keep your picture if you're watching something at the top or move it wherever you want and then still go use another app and have whatever you're watching stay on there.
Because the most important thing
is that we don't turn it off.
Is that Netflix does not get interrupted.
Hey, maybe we'll get more movie watching and queuing finishing if we have this.
It's hilarious. Again,
it looks good. I thought it was good.
It's not a bad integration of technology, but what it says about us as a people, It's interesting.
It's finally doing something I wanted.
Because the last thing that I can allow to happen is social interaction to get in the way of YouTube and or Netflix.
Well, now you can feel more productive because you still have a movie going on. Because sometimes I'll put a movie on just as noise or just to watch. It might get to a boring part and you want to go switch and do something else. It still stays there.
Perfect.
Yay.
Perfect.
You know, like if it was on the wall, if I was sitting in front of it, watching it while I still had my phone to do something else.
But now you don't even have to look away from your phone.
You're right, because I'll still sit in front of my big TV on the wall and watch something on my phone.
Well, don't turn off your phone and don't turn on your TV.
It's exactly what you want.
You're never going to have to look away again. Just keep looking directly at your phone.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Ooh, big news if you're a video game streaming person, or whether you do it or pay attention to it. Yesterday, Microsoft announced that they sold Mixer to Facebook Gaming.
So was Mixer the one that took some streamers or stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So Mixer was the streaming platform that Microsoft owned. Mm-hmm. And so Microsoft threw a lot of its money at Mixer, trying to make it a big deal. So there was all this system level integration, meaning that it was super easy to stream to Mixer from your Xbox. They just had a lot there. There were several games like Forza Horizon 4, which is a personal favorite. You could get achievements and like in-game currency for watching and or streaming.
Is that the one Ninja went to forever ago?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
And Ninja and Shroud. So they signed exclusive deals with Mixer for big bucks.
A lot of money. But I wonder for how long.
Well, I mean, all contracts have an endpoint, right? Even marriage ends when you die.
Okay, well, that's true.
So they could have, like, Facebook offered them more than twice their original contract amounts to stay and be a part of Facebook Gaming.
Oh, so Mixer's now going to be called Facebook Gaming.
Well, Facebook Gaming is
it.
Right, it is swallowing Mixer.
I see. And so they wanted their talent to stay.
Yes.
So even though the talent signed initially with Microsoft for Mixer, now they're a part of the Facebook infrastructure.
Well, only if they agree to it.
Only if they agree.
And guess what they said?
Well, yes or no?
No.
Really?
In fact, here's where it gets more amazing to me, is that they said no, and that meant that Microsoft had to pay out the balance of their contracts.
Well, that's why they said no. And then they're never going to sign with an exclusive thing again.
So to give you an idea.
That's fascinating.
Ninja just got a check for about $30 million.
For not having to do his contract.
Doing nothing.
Yeah.
And Shroud just got about $10 million. By the way, they're now completely free of all contracts.
To go
now
back to how it was in the beginning.
Now they can go do what they want.
That's a good move.
They just got fatty paychecks.
See, I bet Mixer didn't take off like it was supposed to.
Right.
So I bet it did impact their career, maybe in a more negative way than they thought it would have. So now they got all the payout money, and they can go back to just now being everywhere.
Nikki, I love you, and I love what we do. Mm-hmm. But for $30 million, I'll walk away.
You're welcome to leave. I'll open the door for you.
And I'll tell you what, after that, you can come work for me.
Okay, good.
And we'll do something called the Ruckus Podcast.
That's a lot of money.
We'll just take that money, bring it back, and have a heck of a vacation.
That's something. So I am not surprised they would not decide to go with an exclusive Facebook Gaming contract.
Oh, yeah. Who
would want to go back into potentially losing more people by signing just with one thing?
Amazing.
So you think they'll go back to Twitch and stuff?
Probably. I'll bet they never signed a contract again. That's not true. Maybe they will. I don't know.
They don't need to.
They kind of don't.
They don't need to at that point.
Just the idea that they made that huge bank and now they're free to do whatever they want. That's wild, right? It's wild. And a lot of people are starting to get a little concerned that, how Mixer was built into the Xbox? What if Facebook Gaming is built into the new Xbox?
No one wants that?
No.
You can game with your grandma.
And she loves you.
And she'll be on.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, Nikki, probably the most important stop that I make all day when it comes to the internet is swinging over to slickdeals.net to see what I should be purchasing with the extra money that I don't have.
Okay, so anything good today?
Yeah.
I don't know if Slick Deals has had an amazing deal in quite some time. I feel like its heyday is gone.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like once these deal sites begin to build up a community, and once you start seeing the communities attack each other, like, oh, those people over at CAG stole our deal.
There used to be a real whole scene with that stuff where you could get a lot of great deals and you're just buying stuff and doing this, and it just went away.
It did. Or you know what it is? It's buried somewhere.
Yeah.
We need to get on the dark web, Nikki, and find the real deals.
No, I think we became content, and we like looking at deals, but there really isn't anything to move us as much anymore.
Well, Nikki, today, I don't know if it's one day only. It feels like it, but the HD 7000 is on sale.
No.
What?
What is even that? Is it a graphics card?
The HD 7000?
What is it?
It's got fusion heating.
Yeah, it feels like a graphics card.
Oh, it's so much better. It's round or elongated, your choice. Mm-hmm. How would you like the Bio Bidet HD 7000?
It's a bidet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
okay.
That should have been... Actually, a lot of people bought that at the beginning of the stay-at-home stuff when the toilet paper shortage started.
Here we go, Nikki. Heated seat.
Mm-hmm.
Heated water. Night light.
Oh, nice.
Warm air dryer.
How do you do that, though, if you don't have a outlet near your toilet? Doesn't that need, like, power or something? You got, like, electrician in or something?
Well, you probably run...
You run a cord?
Yeah. You run a cord. What is that? What's weird? It's not weird.
Well, I think it would look weird if you ran a cord to an outlet, which is not usually in the potty area. Maybe maybe people have one. I don't know.
It's weird to me is there's like a remote.
Well, I'm sure, yeah.
But I don't think it detaches, so you're like reaching down beside you running the...
Oh, it seems like, is this just like an all-in-one unit compared to the remote maybe being on the wall?
Yeah, it's all in one, but it's the HD 7000.
Nice. How much is it going for?
Well, I mean, only $200. Okay, $199.99.
Great.
Shipping is free.
For a bidet thing, is that a lot or a little?
I don't know. Like, what is this? How come I can't get to the website? Man, are we not allowed to go to this website anymore?
That or it's being overrun by people because they're all just going there to buy it.
Totally
they can't handle it.
So, fusion heating technology that allows you to control the temperature of your wash from start to finish. Well, there it is.
It's a lot of money for that.
Stainless. Well, I'm not going to get into it anymore. But
you just want to look?
Well,
just fun to look at it.
I'll have to think about whether or not I want to invest.
So I still think you go walk into your bathroom like, what's this cord? It's a hazard.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's a hazard, and I don't think we can set it up.
Not necessarily. What we'll do is we'll just tape it down.
That's worse. I only really get a kick out of that because I've been to a many concerts where you're like, what is this cord? Just do it right there. You know what they do? They do tape it down.
Just tape it down.
And it fixes the problem.
No problem.
Like you can't trip over it if it's taped down.
That's the logic. That's how it works. You just tape it down.
All right. Well, if anybody's interested, you're welcome to text us, and I'm sure Obi can send you the link to this amazing deal.
No, I'm not advertising here, Nikki. I'm just talking about the future of bathroom technology.
Promoting it.
This is an area where, the United States really lags behind.
I know in other countries, bidets are like a normal thing, but not doing it here.
Well, I guess
we just can't. I don't think we're mature enough to.
One day, a heroic time traveler will go back in time to make sure none of this ever happens. Until then, it's the Worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, over the weekend, in a rare fit of spending, I bought not one but two movies.
Two movies?
And watched them both.
We have movies left to buy?
Oh, yes.
What movies did you get?
Well, Nikki, the good thing is with movies is they just keep re-releasing them.
There's more versions of it?
Yeah. I watched RoboCop 2, which the older it gets, the worse it really does get.
Okay.
That is not a good movie.
So wait, is that a newer RoboCop thing or an older one?
No, it's
an
like
old
way
one?
old, yeah. Like, I was pulled in by Shout Factory or Scream Factory released a collector's edition. I wanted to see the extras. And what's cool is like they're almost like indie record labels. They go out there and they grab up like different films, get distribution rights, and then they film documentaries on movies that no one else wants a documentary on.
But you might as well.
But I do. And so I'm like, yeah, all right.
So you bought it not for RoboCop 2, but for the documentary about it.
Like the stuff around it. It's pretty bad. Like it's a pretty bad movie. And then
I'm not shocked by you saying that. I assumed it was pretty bad.
Yeah, right.
That keeps most people from buying it.
No, that's why I want it.
Because it is so bad.
I want to watch it.
Well, what was the other one?
Jaws.
The original?
The 4K restoration of Jaws.
Do you have Jaws already?
No,
that was your first time?
I've never owned Jaws. I borrowed yours for like 3 years.
I had Jaws?
You did.
I did.
You loaned it to me for like 3 years. I gave it back to you. You were like, this is mine? I was like, yes.
I still don't even know where it would be.
You sold it.
Oh, okay.
Because what I remember is as soon as I gave it to you.
And then I got rid of it.
You immediately got rid of it.
If you don't need something and you don't if you didn't even know it was gone for 3 years, why bother keeping it?
It's a good point. It's a good point. But yes. Oh, so good.
Is it good? Is it scary? Because I haven't seen it in a while, apparently, because I didn't remember.
It is, it's suspenseful. What's interesting to me is that movie is 45 years old.
It's so crazy.
And admittedly, it's a little slow, but it's a Spielberg movie, and I'm surprised by how well it holds up.
So, I watched The Meg a month or so ago.
It's not going to be like that.
And that wasn't scary. That was just weird.
Ridiculous.
So is this more like if you go back and watch some of the classic movies, would Jaws actually scare you, whereas The Meg just makes you, kind of like, what is this?
I don't know. What do you mean by scary?
Like to make you not want to go in the ocean.
Did I experience existential dread in the middle of the night? No.
Well, you're not on vacation. Talk to me when you're back on vacation.
When that at the beginning of the movie, when the girl goes out swimming and she's screaming and being drug around in the water, it was disturbing.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
I just don't know, because sometimes older movies can hit you a little harder.
I thought it played super well.
Okay, because when I get in the water, I probably would still think Jaws stuff and not like The Meg. I don't think a megalodon is coming at me.
There's probably a 5 million old shark.
Or something like that.
You're right. I don't. You're right. No,
I don't think newer movies probably scare us as deep down as maybe when we were younger and we watched the other ones.
It's a more grounded fear. This is something, when he begins to eat the boat, it might be a little much. But
the other stuff's possible.
There are elements to it where it's like, yeah, that could happen.
All right,
ish.
That was your movies you bought over the weekend?
And I'm telling you, Nikki, the 4K restoration of Jaws, you just let me know when you want to watch it. And you and Eric can come over. I'll pop some popcorn.
We're going to have a shark movie night.
It was so good.
It was good? I'm glad.
It was so good.
Better than the RoboCop thing.
Well, everything has its place.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So Nikki and Nikki's been watching videos. I've been reading this book. It's called Get Out of Your Head. The author's name is Jenny Allen. It's really written for girls. But I can read it too.
You can totally read it too.
I can read it too.
I don't know if it's written for.
Oh, it is.
But it feels like it's styled for.
She tries every once in a while to throw in like a male pronoun.
Sure.
But
it's really not.
You can tell the publisher was like, hey, why don't we just change a couple of these so that we could sell it to more people?
Well, it's still good for everybody, though.
No, it's great. It's a great book. One of the things that's in the book that I've been thinking about a lot is this idea of, she says, tell the last 2%. And that's an amazing idea because the idea there is that, even if we have like a really good friend, we'll tell them 98% of what's going on. But there's that last 2% that we hang on to. And we don't want anybody to know, because if they knew the last 2%, they wouldn't want anything to do with us. There's just those little tiny bits. And I wouldn't recommend telling the last 2% to someone you don't trust.
Well, yeah, you want that to...
You maybe don't want to broadcast it, but somebody that you trust. And I would go so far as to say in a relationship with God. I find that a lot of times for me personally, I am always trying to gauge what is the person that I'm talking to looking for, and just trying to be whatever it is they're looking for.
Sure.
And in a relationship with God, what's really odd is that, do you know that Jesus doesn't need a darn thing from you? Have you ever thought about that? Do you ever think God is like, well, could you bring me my soda? I don't want to get up from the chair. Like that's not who God is. God literally doesn't need anything from you at all. So from the get-go, you're the needy one. And they're like, oh, no, well, just relax. It's fine. And a lot of times we pretend with God, at least I do, where I'll be like, God, thank you for this day and thank you for this food. Amen. And it's like we've left a lot out between the day and the food. I mean, it's good to be thankful, but there's some stuff that we're not throwing in. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. What's the stuff that you think makes you unlovable? What's the last 2% that you're like, I don't want anybody else to know about this? Now, I'm not saying you have to get on the air and broadcast it, but between you and God, you could certainly talk about it.
You can be honest about that stuff.
100% honest. Because God loves you. He doesn't need you. He wants you. He wants a relationship with you. Not because he can get something out of you, but because he has a lot to give you. If you don't have a relationship with God, I want you to know your 2%, your 98%, it's all loved. God cares. God wants to help. If you would allow Jesus to be a part of your day-to-day, be honest about who you are, where you are, and what's going on. And if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, you can say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. Here's what's going on. And you don't have to hold anything back at all.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
So people in New York City are upset about people setting off illegal fireworks.
It seems to be, and I don't think necessarily if it's a 4th of July thing or a protest thing or just a neighborhood thing, but they have areas where just fireworks are continually being set off, and no one is going to go stop them.
So their answer to me is kind of hilarious. They're like, if Mayor de Blasio if we can't sleep, de Blasio can't sleep.
So basically, because they're not stopping the fireworks, they want to stop him from sleeping too.
Right. So it's a big thing of people just driving past his house and honking their horns.
You know, like during quarantine when people would have birthday parties and they'd go around the neighborhood honking for a long, long time. But this is at his house and all the time.
Yeah. Now, understanding that there is no truly monolithic protest, but here's the part that I can't stop thinking about. All of these people are angry that, you know, these fireworks are being set off. Now, if the city was going to enforce an ordinance about fireworks, how would they do that?
With the police?
Nikki, what are we protesting about?
People are protesting to not have the police.
So... No police, but the mayor needs to do something about this.
Don't show the holes in the argument.
I'm just saying.
That there's many holes in that.
They have said, like, from what I've read, they're like, we're letting community initiatives take care of the fireworks problem. So I don't know what those are, but they're out there telling people, don't set off fireworks if people want to sleep.
And the more you tell people, the more they'll actually go out and set out fireworks.
So, I mean, like, if they don't have what are they... Call the National Guard?
Well,
does the mayor go out and hand out pamphlets? Like, what are they supposed to do?
The borough presidents have been telling residents to not call 911.
Right.
If you have a complaint, don't call 311 or 911. If you have a complaint about fireworks in New York City, and they say you have to have a community response to solve the issue. And they've got about 1,700 complaints that have just come in during the first part of this month alone, which is 80 times as many as recorded in previous years.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, it really works when you go down at 2 a.m. to talk to your drunk neighbor.
Who's setting off the fireworks for hours. Man, I hate it.
They're so respectful.
I know. I know people are really sad that there's no like community fireworks this year for a lot of places, but you know there'll still be house fireworks, and those are the worst. They go for hours.
Yeah.
They go into like August and September, and it's just like, just so much. My dog hates fireworks, so it's particularly bad.
Let me just tell you, if you become the guy, we all know this is true, right? if you become the guy that goes down there and talks to them, now they start setting off the fireworks to see how long it takes for you to come down and say something. I had, when we were in college, I'm not going to say what year or what floor, but there was a floor where there was this guy who was a student teacher. They need to be in their own things. Like, he had like a real job and a real life. And so like he had to get sleep because he had to get up super early and whatever. So he would come out like 14 times to the lobby like, hey, guys, I know we want to have a good time.
Be the nice one at first, yeah.
And then pretty soon, and then people would like wait, and pretty soon he'd come out and scream at everybody. So then a group of guys just started throwing a ball at his door every night. Just every night they throw a ball at his door.
What's the point in that?
I know, but I'm telling you, this works because...
That's what's going on.
If you go down and talk to your neighbors about the fireworks, they're going to start shooting fireworks at your door.
Well,
that's what's coming.
That instead you shouldn't call 911, but they want the police to stop the illegal fireworks from coming in from basically like through New Jersey.
Yeah.
So they want to stop that. They have more complaints in Philadelphia, Vegas, and San Francisco because they say a lot of demonstrations and protests are using fireworks in their demonstrations, and that's the issue.
That's pretty American. Like, I hate to break it to you, but that's pretty American. But I don't know, whatever. I just know that somebody on my street keeps setting them off, and of course they wait till it gets dark.
Yeah,
Nikki, I have to get up early.
Well, I know. I'm in the same boat too.
I just put my earbuds in. I got like a sleep mask. Getting in a hyperbaric chamber, like whatever I have to do.
You can still hear them even in there.
I'm not going down to talk to them.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, let's talk about the Babysitters Club.
Yeah, so that's a series of books that I read when I was younger. I think every young child probably has read some.
Well, not every young child.
I didn't want to say every girl. You know, it's every person.
Because, maybe boys want to babies. I mean,
no, what were the guy versions? Was that the
fireworks
the Hardy
Club?
Boys and Nancy Drew stuff? Remember? Didn't it have there was always the guys and girls version?
Yeah. I have no idea what the guys version of the Babysitters Club was. I was reading Robotech. So
you were?
Whatever. That was 18 books, and I read all of those in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So that was my Babysitters Club, Nikki.
That was it.
It was. So we just watched the trailer for it, and Nikki said the most important thing ever after we watched the trailer, that this is when we should be getting a new Stranger Things.
It's supposed to be next Friday, and it wasn't always.
It's July 3rd.
Yeah, July 3rd, and wasn't that always Stranger Things time?
We've had Stranger Things. Season 1 was like a 4th of July thing. Season 2 was a 4th of July thing. Or season 1 was actually just a June thing.
Sure.
Like, it just showed up,
But
whatever.
everybody started to watch it and became popular that weekend.
Season 2 was Halloween.
Oh, that's right.
Season 3, 4th of July. And now, this year, the Babysitters Club.
Perfect. You can go through all 10 episodes.
Yeah.
It looks I thought it was supposed to be more modern of a telling. And it is. Like, it's set in modern times. Yeah. But I was telling Hobie, so many shows have, like, old people that are supposed to look like they're in high school.
Right. So a 40-year-old woman playing a 14-year-old
exactly.
girl.
Like, that's how it always is. But then when I saw the trailer, I thought they look really young. So maybe it's too young.
Too young for you to watch?
Well, it just seems, I thought it was supposed to be, again, more, what's the word? They call it adorable. Everybody's been saying, oh, it's adorable. Maybe it's too adorable.
The only thing I will tell you, like, as an adult male watching this trailer, my thought was, I wish I had friends like that.
I know.
Look at
be in a club.
Look at their amazing circle of friends.
How does one have so many friends?
How do I get to be a part of a Babysitters Club like that? Where can I sign up? Do I join at a community center?
See, that's where I think it's too young. Like, I
just kept thinking, I realized this is written for, preteen girls, but I want friends.
You've got to be in a club.
They're in it together. And as they're growing, they're receiving positive messages from the adults around them about how proud they are of them. And the friendships are growing stronger as they face adversity.
That's why I feel like I can't connect with it.
Because it's not real.
It doesn't feel real.
No one has friends.
Especially coming off of the COVID stuff. Like, we haven't been able to be around friends.
See, It's funny.
It's too real.
Maybe that's why it hit my heart so hard, because on Saturday afternoon when I was watching Jaws alone in my basement.
Because you don't have a club?
I was like, man, I thought several times, sure would be nice to have somebody to watch this movie with. But it's fine.
See, now you're understanding why
this
when I
Diet
watch
Coke
the trailer.
Is my friend.
Yeah, when you watch the trailer, you're just like, oh, that looks fun, doesn't it?
Nikki, okay. Maybe we should start up our own club.
Maybe.
A club, where we're all like friends and we're helping each other.
Seems like a lot of work now.
And we're being together.
No,
and
not
we have there's like a place where we all hang out.
Well, that's here. I mean, I think. Are we in a riot club then?
I know, but I don't feel the way the people do on this trailer. I'm not like crying and hugging you.
They're outside. They're doing things.
They're like at a dance right now.
So I'll probably watch some. I think I just
You're
will.
watching the whole thing.
Yeah, I probably will.
All in.
But I'm not happy about it. Okay,
you're
not happy about it.
You're going to be at home crying. You're going to be texting me like, I quit. I'm starting a babysitting service. I'm out. Because Nikki, we're on vacation next week when this comes out. That's going to be bad. Nikki's like, I never needed it in the riot anyway. I'm a babysitter now.
But that's going to be next Friday at the end of the week.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
And it was Friday during the fundraiser in which something happened that because of the fundraiser, it had to sit in the back.
Oh, yeah. And then
it had to
was
wait.
Out yesterday, so today's finally the day we can talk about it. And Phil, he's a podcast listener, so I'm sure he'll hear it today.
Oh, hi, Phil. Thanks
Hello,
for
Phil.
being a part of the podcast, buddy.
Well, I wanted to see if I could tell what they think it might be if I just went like that.
People know
Can
what that
anybody
is.
guess what that might be?
All right, until you text, Nikki's just going to keep doing that. 8772
Wait, I'll do it on the desk.
Radio U.
What do we think this is? Anybody have any guesses?
Well, I can't guess because I already know. So
no, close your eyes and listen to the noise. What do you think that sounds like?
You
Fireworks.
got 2 empty ends of coconut and you're banging them together.
That's not it.
That's not it.
So, yeah, Phil, who's a podcast listener, sent me something on Friday, and I was super surprised. It was so nice of him to send them.
Randall says a box.
That is not it.
Well, it's a box of...
And they didn't even come in a box. They came in a bag.
They did come in a bag. You're right.
Thanks to Amazon.
I was going to say, I think they came from Amazon, right?
Well, it was so cute. If you didn't know this,
yellow.
If you buy something on Amazon through their Amazon Smile program, a portion of the proceeds or the money that you spend goes to help nonprofits. And so Radio used one of them. So he even said I can't return them because he bought them through Smile. Cody got it.
All right. There it is.
Cody got it.
And so did JC, a new pair of Crocs.
I have Crocs.
Nikki
Phil
now
sent me some Crocs.
has Crocs.
And he got the right size, and he picked very bright yellow.
So it's amazing. Tell them why he picked yellow.
Because when we were talking about the Switch Lite like a month or so ago, I was interested in getting the yellow one. So he got the same yellow. This is the size of shoe that I wear, but these are very big. So they do run generous.
So you would have chosen a slightly smaller size?
I would have gone one down, but it's perfectly fine. They fit.
No, you didn't wear them in here.
Well, I really like them. They're way more comfortable than I thought they would be.
Okay.
I'm just not ready to wear them out in public yet, but I wear them at home, around.
So they're like slippers?
Yeah, or like errand shoes if I don't have to go in anywhere yet. I got to build up to it. Because they're very bright yellow.
What? Nobody's going to care?
I know, but you know me, I'm shy when it comes to things like that. I assume people will look at them.
Okay, all right. So let's say you walk into a store wearing those
They're very bright yellow
Crocs.
Yeah.
And somebody says, hey, nice
yellow
Crocs.
I wouldn't know.
Would you be able to ever wear them again?
I don't know if I can wear them in the first place, Alex. I haven't worked up yet. I gotta get used to them. But they're so comfortable. They're way more comfortable than I thought.
You wore them all morning on Friday.
You know why? It was getting hot in the studio, and your feet really are able to breathe in these things.
Well, they're all holes.
There's all these holes. They're air
maybe
holes.
Not all holes,
Phil,
but
it was so sweet
holes.
of you to send them to me. I really appreciate them. I do.
Oh my gosh.
I just have to work up to wearing them in public. I have to.
Today we're having Chris's birthday lunch.
You want me wearing to lunch?
Yeah. Well, because think about this. You'll be in a group. You'll feel more confident.
It's true.
We'll be there.
Lena, thank you for texting. She guessed Crocs as well.
Deflect anything.
It was so weird opening them up. Like we've talked about back at the beginning of COVID, I had wanted to try Crocs because I would see them always on TikTok and just like, why are they a thing? Why do people really like them? Or why do people really hate them? Like, I know why on that because, they're a particular style. But I always wanted to try one on. So then now that I've tried them on and I have a pair, it's so weird. It's like, oh, I have a pair.
You've crossed over.
Yeah, I crossed over.
You can no longer.
I cropped over. It's too good. It's too good, It's too much.
You can no longer look down your nose.
I can't. I have a pair.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, the Karate Kid sequel series, Cobra Kai, is moving to Netflix.
So Karate Kid was some older movies, and they had a bunch. And then
there was a remake.
And then YouTube had a show, which was the first season, and it was the original Karate Kid people.
Yes. And the whole idea was, remember YouTube was going to have their own Netflix? Like you'd pay extra and there'd be YouTube originals and et cetera, et cetera. And eventually they're like,
Well, you're still paying extra, but I think the originals that they've come up with, this caught on for the first season for like one moment.
Right.
And then I think the rest of the originals have not caught on to where they don't want to spend the money on it anymore.
Yeah, and so
someone else does, though.
They've done 2 seasons and apparently shown the numbers to work enough that
I think they've already filmed the 3rd season. It's just never aired.
Okay, well, it's seasons 1 and 2 of Cobra Kai are moving over to Netflix, and then the 3rd season of it will also be on Netflix.
So Netflix has bought Cobra Kai from YouTube.
I still haven't watched it.
Even though I don't think YouTube technically owned it, I think it was a Sony thing. So, or at least now
Sony probably licensed it.
Yeah, through the licensing, because Sony has said that they want to, not just with Netflix, but they want to offer possibly more shows, spin-offs and things coming from the Karate Kid franchise.
Why don't they just say the truth? We want to make more money. And so
they want to make it from this season or this series.
If you will pay us for this thing, we will make more of this thing so we can have more of the money.
So I don't think the 3rd season ever aired, but YouTube opted to ignore and to quit with the 4th season. So I think what you're going to watch for the 3rd season is still like produced and brought to you and still it'll still
look like the YouTube thing.
Yeah, so if you were a fan and you're like, well, it didn't look as amazing as maybe a Netflix show might look.
Right.
This 3rd season will still probably have that feeling, and if they do any more past that, then it'll have the Netflix feeling.
It did have a slightly cheap feeling to it.
Well, I mean, it's not a bigger studio, so.
Right. It wasn't that it was, because I watched, I think, 3 episodes of it or something like that. And I'll have to tell you that
it has a feeling to it.
It does. Johnny getting his life together because of the late night rerun speech from Iron Eagle was, I don't know.
If only he had a group of friends. He needs
a karate club.
He needs a karate club.
Which is what his dojo ends up being, Nikki.
That's true. So
wait, so is this the other side of the Babysitters Club?
Well, they've not said anything as far as when will the other Karate Kid episodes go on to Netflix and when will the 3rd season actually air. They haven't given those details yet.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see, won't we? See if you're good enough when they'll be able to put them out.
The 3rd season was ordered back in April of 2019, but that was, again, back when it was a YouTube thing, and now Netflix has all the rights to it.
Oh, all the rights. So this is going to be the pre-COVID Karate Kid. Season 4 will be about how they are no longer allowed to practice at the dojo due to a stay-at-home order.
Zoom meeting, what is it?
Zoom Karate Kid.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
Now, in Japan, just like the rest of the world, they're trying to figure out how to live life in the time of Corona. Mm-hmm. And I still, like, if you look at the numbers, the numbers are going up. in most places, and everybody's just like, whatever, we're done doing that.
Well, Japan got on it in the beginning, but they did see some increase later on, which led to some stronger ones. So they started off in one way. Everybody kind of got more relaxed, and then they had to go back and start with some stronger rules for COVID stuff.
So right now, there's East Japan and West Japan theme park associations. Did you know that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either. I didn't know they had enough amusement parks in Japan to have associations.
To have associations with them for sides.
I mean, Japan is big, but not that big. But apparently they've got things happening.
So this has the support of Tokyo Disneyland and Universal Studios Japan. So maybe those even fall under the East and West from these bigger companies who monitor safety stuff with them.
So here's the idea. They're saying that you get on a roller coaster, you, of course, wear a mask, and you don't do any screaming.
You're not allowed to scream on them.
No,
you have to be quiet.
No screaming on the roller coaster.
So if you have a mask, what's the point? I thought the screaming would be so you're not like accidentally spitting on the people behind you.
Yeah, because you don't remember the disease plume?
Yeah.
Or the viral plume that comes out of your mouth when you talk?
If you're running, if you're behind someone who's running, a lot of that would just go right back on them. But if you're wearing a mask, what's the point then? How come you can't scream in the mask?
Well, Nikki, maybe the mask doesn't get everything.
That's true.
It's maybe the mask is good for if you're walking and breathing normally. The mask can help, grab your disease.
So but it's not enough for the full ride. They're saying that the common question since the guidelines were released is how are you supposed to ride a scream machine, which is what they call it, without screaming. And so they posted some funny videos on just, a couple of normal guys on the roller coaster just sitting there as calm as can be during the ride.
It is funny.
Say it's possible.
Yeah, they're showing you that it's possible, but it is unintentionally funny watching these guys screaming on the inside.
They're formally dressed gentlemen.
They are.
And that's what they're doing. One is the president of the rail and bus operator, one of the companies there, and the other guy is a presenter. So
is it just me, or does it kind of look like it's the lighting, but it looks like it's fake?
Yeah, it looks like it's a green screen behind it. But no, when you actually watch the video, you can tell it's real.
Well, and sometimes you'll notice, if they light it a certain way and it pops on the background, it'll look fake, but it's actually happening.
And they're saying, the roller coaster's not too much. When the roller coaster that they were riding in the promotional video showing that you could scream, or you can ride a roller coaster without screaming. When it opened, it was the tallest roller coaster in the world. Now at this point, it is number 8 globally. So it's also the 5th longest.
Do you think maybe he reaches up to put his mask back on?
Well, I guess it kind of, with the air and stuff, you have to almost hold your mask down if you're wearing.
He fixed his hair. What?
He's still there. Why not? Got a long ride. You're not screaming.
Wow.
So if you're going to any of the theme parks as they've been opening back up, you're supposed to remember, not just in Japan, but here as well, please scream inside your heart is what they're telling people.
I'm always screaming inside my heart.
But now on the ride is where you're actually supposed to do that.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
Nikki, did you see this article that I sent you about wearing gloves while you eat a hamburger?
I did not. I didn't have a chance to look at it yet.
So a blog that Nikki and I frequent is called The Takeout, and it's about food. But this is an article that is referencing a write-up in the New York Times for a place called Butter Bro. It's a gastro pub in Minsk.
Bro.
Yeah, Minsk. Overseas.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. But in the photos, you see these people eating their burgers with gloves because they say that, burgers are really messy and that's kind of unsanitary and you don't want that. It's almost uncivilized to have that stuff all over your hands.
They're saying that in some European countries, it is a trend to provide gloves to diners if you order a hamburger.
Would you wear gloves to eat a burger?
I would not eat it. I would not, because sometimes I feel like it's not like there's a taste to the gloves, but there's a...
Oh, yeah. There's like a powdery...
a smell to it to where if you're supposed to wear gloves, then yes, you want to, but Not, I think, when eating a hamburger, because I feel like that would transfer to the taste of it when you were eating it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't think I'm game for that. Though I will say, a lot of times if you hand me a burger in a wrap,
yeah,
I'll eat it out of the wrap.
No, because sometimes you eat the wrap. You got to be careful. You don't want to eat the paper.
This has happened to you?
Yes, it has. Not a lot, but just like a little.
Enough for you to be concerned.
Yeah, I don't want that, because if it's messy enough, it gets lost in the mess. Anybody else? No?
Not me, but in fairness, my burgers are pretty plain Jane.
Now, Matt just texted. He said, Minsk is where I ate horse. And he was rather lots of exclamation points. So I see you traveled there, Matt. Is that what you're saying?
Wow.
And you ate horse?
So,
okay.
Good.
Did you have gloves? Do they provide gloves?
Did you have horse gloves?
Do they provide gloves for that or something?
It's a good question.
It's something to think about here. And I don't think it didn't seem like it was COVID from the European country.
No. This is just that the burgers are messy.
And then they just provide gloves, so it's not a health reason.
I don't think I want the gloves.
I don't want them because it does have that powder stuff or whatever.
And sure, you'll be like, oh, not all gloves have that.
Yeah, they do.
They don't smell good. I don't want to.
I mean, am I supposed to bring my own winter gloves or something to eat the hamburgers? I don't know.
No. What's going on?
Nothing. We're not going to do. They say that it's almost impossible for this trend to take off in the United States. It's not going to.
Because we're filthy pigs.
Well, we're fine with it, and we're set in our ways.
Americans, with your stupid fireworks and your burgers with your bare hands. Look at you.
They're saying that gloves could be useful in cases, say, you haven't washed your hands prior to eating. And they say that Americans, they doubt, will do something like that. Wash our hands or wear the gloves. I can't tell. But they say we take our burger culture way too seriously, and we're too set in our ways.
Come on. I like everything they said there. We take burgers seriously, set in our ways. Let me tell you what that is right there, Nikki. That is America.
Is it?
It is America. You can keep your sissy little gloves for burgers.
I wish you could make it's not an eagle, but it's like our hawk sound. We still have our, because that's even more. There it is.
Come on.
There it is.
Now give me that burger and keep the gloves.
We don't want the gloves, so.
Hey, and Matt says that he had horse and it was delicious.
Matt, I don't want to talk about that.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Radio U.
Nikki?
Yes.
Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Do you know that there is... Actually, no, let's wind it back. Talk to me about your dream villager.
My dream villager?
Do you have a dream villager?
Not yet. So you have to know that I'm months behind everybody else, because I just started like 2-3 weeks ago. We did a RIOT after show where Obi and I set up Animal Crossing for me for the first time. So I am way behind where everybody else who had Animal Crossing during quarantine time. Some of your guys' stuff is massive. Like, you played a lot. So I'm just getting into other villagers and stuff and people coming in and moving. So I'm not all as advanced as everybody else would be.
Yeah, it's fascinating. There's this whole thing where certain people, they have very specific villagers that they want. Like I guess there's kind of like a certain amount of villagers available.
You can even have conflict with people. Like, there's this whole thing I'm not into yet.
Okay, well, there is somebody on Twitter that they're just like, hey, I'll make your custom villager, or I'll help you get the villager you want.
Of your dreams?
The villager of your dreams.
For Animal Crossing?
So they have... Some people are doing this and charging for it. He's just like, no. Everybody should be able to get it. But apparently it's a very involved process. And so he has gathered a group together of about 20 people, and they have an organization that they're working on it. They haven't started it yet, but they're about to, called Villager Haven, in which you'll be able to submit your request for the villager you would like, and then they'll hack together this villager and send it
there?
to you. Yeah,
really?
To visit you. Yep.
I guess I didn't even know people could do that.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Is
that a nonprofit? What are we doing here?
They say that they're doing it
just for fun,
for free.
Well, I guess that's good.
They say that the majority of the requests they get are for Raymond, and Raymond is a He's a cat of some kind.
He's a good villager.
I guess he is. He's a cat. It looks like he's wearing glasses, and he appears to be, in this photo, he's sweeping things up. So I don't know what it is that he's doing. But apparently Raymond is the one that a lot of people want in their village.
He's the smug cat villager. I don't have him.
Oh, see,
I'm not. Why am I even playing now at this point? Why am I even doing this?
I don't even know why.
Gosh, I'm behind. The more I play it, the more I really wish I would have started playing Animal Crossing when it came out.
When everybody else was playing it?
Right when it came out.
Yeah, because it was real.
The only good thing, at least for now, is I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch a lot of tutorials on how to make things happen. And I would have had that back then, but
you would have been discovering it together with the community.
I still think I missed out on some of the initial fun with it.
That is quite frankly, that's part of what makes if you want to play video games, it can be a very cheap hobby, because what happens? People buy video games, play them to death, and then chuck them. And you could just pick up used games on the cheap. But there's this whole other thing of playing when everyone else is playing. And that is something that, to me, a lot of times drives the desire to play when it releases, because it is fun to be in on what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'll look it up, but I don't think I'll be submitting a request. I'm not far enough.
You're good.
I'm good for now.
All
I
right.
want a simple island with simple things.
Well,
it doesn't need to have too much.
These guys are volunteers, but Nikki, from what I understand, with enough money, you can get anything on that island you want.
Apparently you can. I just didn't realize that. How many bells do you have?
No. That's not bells, Nikki.
Oh, yeah, you need real money in the real world.
I'm going to need some IRL money.
I'm surprised they're not charging for it, but I bet there's plenty of people that do charge to do things for your island.
Crazy.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Well, I had an expensive thing to talk about, but we're going to need to transition.
I don't want to shift anywhere else. Let's talk about your expensive thing you want to talk about.
Chris came in and he didn't wear Crocs.
Chris was, in case you weren't with us earlier.
Build the foundation.
Okay, build the narrative here. But Phil, an amazing podcast listener, sent me a pair of Crocs. We've been talking about Crocs for a long time. Well, mostly since February, but it feels like a really long time.
Yes.
And I've never had a pair. Always wanted to try one on, but wasn't ready to commit, wasn't sure.
Right.
And he sent me a pair of lovely yellow ones.
Thank you, Phil.
Yes, it was very sweet of him.
And so I have been trying to, now some people see it as pressuring, but I have not been trying to pressure Nikki. What I've been trying to do is help her to be confident enough
to wear
that
them out.
She can put those Crocs on and she can step out into the world.
Never worn yellow out.
Ever?
No, I don't think so. I normally
yellow anything?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember. I mean, maybe a shirt when I was little, but not in recent years.
But not grown up Nikki?
Not grown up Nikki, no.
No yellow?
No.
Okay. So today we're going out for Chris's birthday lunch. It was my hope that Nikki could confidently wear her Crocs.
My yellow Crocs.
Over to the Panda Express.
For Chris's
where
lunch.
We might be allowed to eat inside. We still don't know. So there's that.
Yeah.
Chris, she says if Chris will wear his Crocs, she'll wear hers.
Yeah.
So Chris comes down and he has not worn his Crocs. He says that those Crocs are not his, but he had borrowed them.
He uses them sometimes to walk the dog out, but they're smaller, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was his pair.
Okay, he says
he's
wants
not
a pair.
Wearing them. Yeah, but he's not going to wear those.
I fear a coming Croc infestation in this building.
Work? You think so?
Mm-hmm. I'm a little concerned about it.
Well, there's only so many of us. If it's me and Chris, that we could change a few other people. That's it.
The percentages are high when the staff is low. So, Nikki, the other thing that you seem to have brought out was there was concern about Nikki's shoe size.
My shoe size is size 10 because I have a wide foot. That's it.
You know what you didn't have to do?
Don't have to say anything else.
You didn't have to tell us.
I know.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But she said, and I quote, just cut them off.
No, because Chris said that I probably have bigger feet than him, but I'm taller than Chris. I'm way taller than him.
You're probably 4 inches, 5 inches taller?
I don't know. I'm 5'9". It's not like I'm super tall, but
Nikki's
I am taller.
7'4".
I am not.
She wears a size 18.
No, I'm 5'9".
No, okay, so you're a little bit taller than Chris. So what?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Shoe size doesn't matter.
I know.
The size of your foot does not matter.
But remember the time you said my nose is big? Those
I
things.
actually don't remember that. I mean, you do smack the microphone all the time, but I just assume that was your nose. But maybe it's
just from the years of the riot. But I'm very sensitive on what we say in here.
Whatever.
And when I get out there.
No, I have not made you sensitive. You already were, and I've been exploiting it for laughs.
The yelling has.
What? No.
Everything has a seed of truth.
I reject all of that. I have been trying to tell you that your feet are fine. Get out there. Wear your yellow Crocs. And you're like, you hurt me. I didn't do anything.
By bringing it up, you
did. No. I am trying to help you.
I don't need your help.
I don't want your help. I don't need you. I don't need anybody.
I really wish that he would have worn his Crocs, or I really wish you could have done that for lunch.
Just wear them.
What?
Just wear them.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I got to build up to it.
I'll wear them. They're a little big, but I'll wear them.
You knew your walking seat. That's it. That's what you did.
It was too good.
And that's what I take away.
It was too easy. It was too easy.
You absolutely do it. You do it all the time. You do it all the time.
It's fine. You wear your Crocs to lunch today.
That's why then I get a little sensitive about it. I don't want to.
What is this with having a big nose? I've never said that.
Yes, you did.
When?
You were teasing once, just like you did right there. All the time. I don't want to wear shoes anymore.
I live in the basement now. I'm never coming out. You're like, what's happening in your bedroom? Reading books and sleeping. So yesterday, Nikki, the trailer for Foundation was released. Did you see that?
Is that a game or a movie?
It's a TV show that they're releasing.
I was off on both.
Well, it's fine. It's coming to Apple TV Plus.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. If you don't know, you wouldn't know, but let me tell you, it's a really big deal. A guy named Isaac Asimov. It's a science fiction thing. He wrote
the 1950s?
Yeah, he wrote it a long time ago. But it has often been considered, unfilmable, stuff like that. It's one of those things that when people talk about turning books into movies, it always comes up in those kinds of discussions. And people are like, no, it's too big. It's too this. It's too that. So Apple released their trailer for their TV series that they're doing. And all I can say is, when are we going to stop having this much money to make TV? I mean, it looks like they spent $100 billion.
They maybe did close to it.
It looks so expensive.
Well, you have to take in the factor of they bought the book rights.
Right.
And all that goes with it, which is millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then they have to actually create the product. Where does this all come from? Where does this money come from? Is it from my phone?
It must be.
Are our phones and how expensive they are paying for these Apple TV shows?
That iPhone is foundation money.
Must be.
And does anybody even have Apple TV? When I ask people,
it's still free. You got a whole year of it.
Well, right.
And it hasn't crossed over the year.
If you buy an Apple product, you have a whole year of it. But if not, you're supposed to be paying $5 a month.
I know some people who like some of the shows, but not a lot.
Hey, I loved For All Mankind. That was fantastic. And it's basically the only thing I've watched on it. I forget I have it. I forget it exists. I'm not trying to be mean, Apple.
It's just how it is.
I'm just telling you some hard truth here that I forget it exists. But this is going to be one more show that they throw into that mix. And the trailer looked fantastic. And again, it looked so expensive. It looked like a movie, but more expensive.
It has a very nice it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Did they take some shots from the space show that you were just saying? Did they just save money that way?
Maybe they did.
Because I just saw a shot of Earth, and I was like, well, that could have been from that.
That's from the other show.
They just added the spaceship on top to it. It's fine.
Save a little money by making it all at the same time.
It looks beautiful. Now, this show, they talked about because they had to stop filming in March, but they had already begun work on it.
Oh, yeah, okay. I actually didn't know that. So it's going to be out next year, they say. I really hope it comes out before April next year because that's when my Apple Plus.
Your thing ends?
Or my Apple TV Plus will be over.
It's probably going to be right after.
They're like, when did Obadiah buy that iPad? Okay.
So for Foundation, New Line Cinema tried to develop a film version for Foundation. It's a trilogy. So they tried to do the trilogy back in 1998. They spent $1.5 million back then just to start work on potentially having a project.
Right.
Then they threw that away and signed on instead to produce
Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings.
So again, it is that kind of story. It's that kind of scope. Mm-hmm. It's about a guy whose name I don't remember who invents something called psychohistory.
Yeah.
In which he basically comes up with a way to use the past to accurately predict the future.
Gosh, this thing's so weird. Columbia then tried to do the same in 2009 with Roland Emmerich.
Uh-huh.
To direct
and he's
it.
A terrible choice for anything.
And then HBO bought the rights in 2014 with Jonathan Nolan to develop a TV series. That failed, and then now Apple has it.
Yeah, and Apple's like, we have to make something. Take all that iPhone money and
everybody else has already tried, so it just hasn't worked out.
It's been out there forever,
that's fascinating.
That they were going to make it, and this time, I mean, they made a trailer.
Well, that's more than anybody else has.
That's something.
So that's Foundation, which is a new Apple TV Plus show.
Yeah. So,
but not out till next year.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. Nothing's coming out this year. The rest of the year, there's nothing.
Smooth sailing. Nothing there to interrupt.
Next year, probably, maybe.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
All right, Nikki. Are we ready yet to go back to the library?
We can talk. Well, I mean, how long has it been since we've gone inside the library? I know you sometimes would go in for comic book stuff, but we have a drive-through, and so what else do they think you're getting?
He would go inside for large reference volumes that they would not allow him to check out, but he needed to go and search for himself.
No, you'd go in for comic books, but normally we just use...
Nikki, stop bringing out all my embarrassing things on the show.
Is that it?
I'm so embarrassed right now.
Is it Libby? Or it's got a name of a person, but we use that for our libraries, and then if not, if you ever... would want to actually go and get a physical book, we just go through the drive-thru.
Yeah. So I'm looking here. I haven't really, I'm going on vacation next week. I want to take a book, maybe two with me. I have a novel I want to read, but then I also will, want something else. And this is the thing I do before vacation is that I acquire so much more than I could ever use.
Like you download all the shows that you think you're going to end up watching.
And then you end up watching something that you didn't even download.
Especially when you have a plane ride and, you just download all the stuff because just in case.
One time we went on a road trip. This was I think the last time we went to Purple Door. I took 2 tablets.
Because you needed to have so much stuff downloaded?
Because one of it was we were demoing one of them for a riot control thing, but I was like, yeah, I can't get all of it onto this one, so I'll load it onto this one.
And we were going to a place where there really didn't have a lot of options for speed to download stuff.
I didn't watch anything. I watched no movies. I took 100 movies with me.
So don't try to plan too much for next week.
Right. So, but back to the core question, would you... Are we at a place now where it's go ahead and get the book from the library, or should I just buy it? And that way it can live on my shelf with another stack of books that I meant to read and didn't.
I haven't really worked or touched with a physical book in a long time. So
see.
I download everything.
For me, nonfiction usually means I want a physical book in my hand.
To mark it up or something?
Novels, that trash, that just goes straight to my Kindle.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So what are we looking for then? Trash or some good stuff?
Well, I already have some trash.
You already have some other books?
I actually, believe it or not, yesterday I bought Asimov's Foundation, his first book. It was on sale for $3. And I was like, that is perfect.
So now on the other side, you want something a little bit more, hardier, knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking for the other side of it. I've got 2 books I'm looking at, both available from the library. So do I get them from the library?
I'm sure they clean them, or honestly, depending on the book, I'm sure no one touched it, so you're fine. What?
Oh.
No one's probably used it in a long time.
For all you know, I am reading
Is it a bestseller?
There's a list.
Okay,
I'm reading
that's how you'll tell. If there's a waiting list on it, then maybe how are they cleaning this stuff?
They're both available right now.
Then you have nothing to worry about. Those books have been sitting before this virus, before anything, before all the other flus we had and all that stuff. They're still sitting there.
I'll get it and be like, wow, I don't even think it's been opened.
It might be the cleanest thing with some pure like antibodies or something in it in the book. It might just be perfect.
Okay.
So you could get it. I think you're fine.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Nikki.
But will you read it?
I feel better.
That's the bigger question. You still need to decide, will you read it?
I don't know. It makes me feel good just having it.
But then you got to bring it on vacation with you.
Well, I got a bunch of stuff I'm bringing
anyway.
Got
a second bag?
Yeah.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
You're like, what's happening in your bedroom? Reading books and sleeping.